Well, I was going to get some 31s, but these 26s just look awesome on here. And I know they're going to do great off-road because I've off-roaded with them before. And so what if sidewalls are all cracked up and the tread's splitting? Look how awesome this thing looks. Yeah, dude. We're keeping them. What is up, guys? I'm Kyle at Fortune. Today we're getting into the fun stuff. I've got wheels and tires for the Samurai, and I'm going to go over everything that went into the decision to get them and even show you how I mount and balance my tires. Tires are easily the most important part of any truck build. Really, it determines everything you're going to do. It's how much am I going to lift it to clear these tires? What kind of gearing am I going to have? And what type of axles to turn these tires without breaking parts? What am I going to set my bump stops at? All of that stuff. So tires are a huge deal. Like everything else, I did probably too much research into this, and what I ended up going with was the Milestar Patagonia. Very popular tire. I see a lot of Jeep guys running these, especially in 37 and now the 40s that are getting really popular. But for me on the Samurai, we're doing them one of the smallest tires they make, a 31 by 1050 on a 15-inch wheel. So why did I go with the Milestar Patagonia? You know, honestly, I had never even heard of Milestar, never heard of Patagonia tires, and I remember when I was buying the tires for the Suburban, I saw this tread pattern on Amazon because it was such a great deal for the tires, but because I'd never heard of it, I said I'm not going to buy those. And then when I looked at the rating for them, they were only a load range C, which is a little bit low for me, especially on a heavy truck like the Suburban, so I didn't get them. Since that time, I have seen nothing but good things about the Milestar Patagonia, and one thing that really caught my eye once again is the price. These tires were only about $117 per tire on Amazon about 6 months ago, so that's about January 2020. Since then, the price has really just been creeping up since then. When I got them, they're about $130 a piece. Still a really good deal. When you're looking for tires for your truck, first thing you need to do is figure out what kind of use am I going to get out of this truck. Is it going to be mostly used on the trail? Am I going to be going through the snow, mud? Am I going to be going on the rocks? A lot of highway use? What is it? The reason why the Patagonia is such a good fit is because the center section down those lugs is really solid. So that means on the road, they're getting great mileage, they're quiet, and it's a good ride. On the outside of the tires, they've got a little bit more aggressive void between the lugs, so a little bit better for biting those rocks when you're airing down, all of that stuff, and plus it also looks cool. So my thought process going into the tire purchase was first to figure out how big of a tire I was going to run. I talked earlier about maybe having a 30-inch tire all the way up to a 32, which doesn't sound like a big difference. I mean, small tire is a small tire, but on a Samurai axle, especially the front, it is a big difference. And what I ended up going with was the 31-inch. The reason behind that is a lot of people have reported that they have really good dependability out of that tire axle combo, and basically that is the max tire size that people running a stock Samurai front axle will run and still have confidence that they're not going to break a bunch of parts every time they go off-roading. How wide do I want this tire to be? Now, the guys that do a lot of snow or mud or just really wet conditions like on the East Coast, I see a lot of them like to run a wider tire because when you air it down, it has a bigger footprint, and in the snow, they tend to want to float over the snow instead of sinking in. Well, here on the West Coast, a lot of us like to run skinnier tires. There's this thought that a skinnier tire has a smaller footprint, which means it's a higher PSI and therefore more traction. Tons of people have looked into this. There's a bunch of videos out there about it. I like that idea, and I also like how they look, so that's usually what I run. These are a 1050 wide, which is a really good ratio for an 8-inch wheel in my opinion. You got a 1250 wide versus a 1050 wide. Once I figured out what tire size I wanted to run, the next was to figure out which size wheel was going to work best with that tire. Now, 15-inch wheels are usually everyone's favorite for off-roading. That's probably because everybody makes a 15-inch wheel tire. 15-inch wheel tires mean that for that tire size, there's much more rubber than there is wheel. As soon as that wheel starts getting bigger and bigger, you're getting less and less tire, which means you don't have as much flex, you don't have as much sidewall, and you're not able to get as good of a ride out of them. So I personally like to run a tire with the smallest wheel I can possibly fit. Now on the bigger trucks like my Suburban, it's usually the brakes that are blocking that from happening, which makes us go up to the next size that I would recommend, which is a 17. And really it's for the same reason. 17 is a super popular wheel size, so there's a lot out there, not only in tires, but also in wheels to choose from. Once you have those three things, the next is to figure out how much your vehicle weighs, so you'll know what type of load rating you're going to need to put on your tire. For me, the Suzuki Samurai is super light, so I wasn't really worried about it. These tires are a load range C, which is just about perfect for what I want to do. And if you look at the tire sidewall now, it goes up to 50 psi max pressure. Obviously, I would not run that in the Samurai. That's going to be like rolling on a stone down the street. It's going to be a horrible ride. But I'm probably going to run it at about 35 psi, just give me a little bit better ride. And then when I go off-road, I can air down that thing really low, hopefully less than 10, and still keep it on the bead. So all of those things put together made it very clear that something like the Milestar Patagonia was what I was going to want to go with. And then once you see the price compared to the other tires, it's hard to go in another direction, especially after you see how well they do for everyone else. So I'm really excited to try those out. Wheels for your truck. This is something I personally have overlooked when I was younger, and it got me into some pretty stupid situations, especially because I was on a super tight budget and I wasn't able to replace them after I screwed it up. For example, one time I got poor backspacing on some wheels for my Jeep YJ, which is a leaf spring Jeep, and the backspacing was so much that when I went to turn the first time, the tires rubbed on the leaf springs so bad I almost wiped out, and I probably lost about 20% of my steering angle, all because I got the wrong wheel. A little bit of research into wheels goes a long ways. There's so many people to ask about what they used on their truck, especially if it's the same one you've got, so you should definitely get that out there. Here's what I went with, and here's why. These are the wheels. They're the Rock Crawler by Pro Comp Series 97, 15 on an 8-inch wide wheel, 5 on 5.5, backspacing 2.5. The first thing I was looking for in these wheels was that they were a 15-inch diameter, because that's the size of the tire that I wanted to run. Next was the wheel width, which I chose to go with 8 inches. This is very similar to how a 1250 would look on a 10-inch wide. So it's a little bit wider, and you tend to have a little bit more of a bulging sidewall on it, and the tire overall looks much wider, but I like it. I think it's going to work great. All right, next, I wanted to find some wheels that were steel. You can get aluminum wheels too, but I always run the steel wheels, and here's why. Steel wheels are tough. They can bend, you can bend them back. They can get dings in them, and you can smooth them out. You can weld on beadlock kits. Most importantly to most of us, they're cheap. Much cheaper than aluminum wheels from what I've seen, so that's why I go with them. But the other ones do have some advantages as well. They're super lightweight, and as we all know, weight is a huge factor when off-roading, especially on little axles, so you want to keep that weight down as much as possible. Steel wheels do weigh a fair amount. Once I get my tires mounted and put some beads in there, I will weigh them and let you guys know exactly how much one complete tire wheel combo is weighing for this setup. The last thing I was putting into my filter when looking for wheels was the wheel back spacing. This is a huge part of it when you're running a leaf spring vehicle. The Samurai's got a fairly wide stance for the leaf springs. I'm not exactly sure how much it is. I haven't measured it, but I do know people run into problems with their tire hitting the leaf spring when they're turning if they don't have the right back spacing. So remember, less back spacing means the tire is going to be sticking out further away from the leaf springs, further away from the axle, all of that. What I decided to do was go with a 2.5-inch back spacing, which in the Samurai world works great. It sticks the tire out there a fair amount. That helps get you that width It looks awesome and it gets the tire away from the leaf springs. One thing to keep in mind is the further that tire is sticking out, the more leverage there is on everything. And if you're running a vehicle with ball joints, this can wear them out prematurely. And even a vehicle with kingpins like the Samurai front axle, it can have premature wear on those as well. So make sure you keep that in mind. Here are the valve stems we're using. They're just some slime ones that I picked up at AutoZone, 1.5 inch long. Got a little bit of soapy water right here. Just gonna put it around the base of this guy, push it through. And we got this cool valve stem tool. These things are pretty awesome. They make it way easy to get all the valve stems in. Just thread it on. There you go. If you've ever gone to a tire shop and bought a combination of wheels and tires, you will see that the list of the little things just adds up and up and up. There's tire recycling fees, you're paying for valve stems, the air, the balancing, all of this stuff, and the price quickly gets out of control. For that reason, I like to try to do as much as I can myself and avoid all of the weird fees. Every time I get a set of new tires, I try to mount them on the wheels myself. I did it with the Suburban and the sidewall thickness was too much. I couldn't even get the first side over the wheel, so I had to go into town and have somebody throw them on the wheels for me. With the Samurai, I tried to do the same thing. I thought these tires are small, they're a smaller load range, less ply, all of that. I still wasn't able to get it on with the 2 tire irons that I had. I think I just needed a little bit more leverage. It wasn't happening. So what I did is I went to a tire shop, and the best deal I found so far for them to just put the tire on the wheel, not air it up, not balance it, anything, is about $10 per tire. So I found a little shop near me, went in there, talked with the guy, and I told him I had 5 tires that I needed put on some wheels, and he said, sure, it's $10 a piece. It's about what I was expecting. When we got done, he only charged me $40, which was nice, and still was way cheaper than going to a tire shop. I hear people say all the time, why would you do this yourself? I can have somebody mount, balance, air up, all that for $2, $4. That's awesome for you. I've never seen it. But the main reason why I want to mount the tires myself and not have somebody air them up or balance them is because I want to balance them myself. And the way I do that is with balancing beads. Now, these aren't legit balancing beads. The ones I'm using are Airsoft BBs, which are just made out of plastic. I first saw this years ago, and a guy was using metal BBs for like a BB gun and putting them in his tires. He found that after running those for a while, they started to get all rusted up, and they eventually were just turning into powder in his tires, so it didn't work out. There's people that sell ceramic beads that run in there, much quieter than the plastic ones, but by far the plastic are the longest lasting and the cheapest option. Putting these beads in your tire is really awesome because it's basically self-balancing every time you get going. Once the tire starts spinning and that centrifugal force shoots them out to wherever in the tire, all of a sudden they're just balanced. I've done this on my last few trucks and it works great. The Suburban's got like 10 ounces of BBs in each tire, and I've never had a single problem. I get up to 75 in that truck sometimes, and I've never had an issue with the tires being out of balance. It's great. Another reason why I like to balance them with these beads is because when you're off-road and you get mud in your wheel or you have rocks stuck in your tire, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If you've got these beads, every time you come to a stop, they're going to reset and you're going to balance that tire again. When you go to a shop and they put those weights on there, it's ugly. They can come flying off sometimes. And in worst case scenario, if your tire is spinning on the wheel because you don't have bead locks or you have a poor fitment, now that balance is all off. So here's how I do the tire beads. I'll show you the ones I was using, and you'll see how easy it is to put them in there. There's a few websites out there that offer charts for balancing beads depending on how big your tire is. Using this chart, I went down and I found out how much weight I was going to need in each tire to balance them out, which is about 6 ounces for my 311050s. Here are the BBs we're going to use. 10,000 count, 0.12 grams. None of that really matters. We basically just need to get 6 ounces in each tire. So I'm going to use this little Walmart scale to measure out 6 ounces in each one. We'll put it in the tire, and then we'll air the tires up. The tires should be tight enough onto the wheel that they should just air up without having to put any straps around them. We shouldn't have to use any flammable liquid and a lighter to get them on either, so that's a plus. putting those BBs into the tire. Some of them are going to want to go around the opposite side of the tire, so just keep checking to make sure they're all going in there, because if you have any that are where the tire seats on the wheel, you're not going to have a good bead seating. So you got to put your hand around there or just look and make sure they're all going inside the tire. As the tire expands over the wheel, it'll get kind of caught on some of the lips, and then all of a sudden you'll hear this big pop. If your finger's in there, that's gonna hurt. Make sure you don't do that. I don't know if you can hear that, but that is the sound you'll hear every time you come to a stop if you have a quite enough truck. And the Suburban has so many in it, it actually sounds like there's air leaking out somewhere, but that should do it. Self-balancing tires. $77.2. Alright guys, that's the setup for the Samurai. I think the tires and wheels look great. I know they're going to function awesome, and I can't wait to get them on the trail and try them. It's been fun riding them on the street so far, but stay tuned. We'll see how these things hold up on the rocks and in the snow and all the other weird terrain I go on, so don't miss it. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you go down there and hit that button. I've got a giveaway coming up. That will be a CO2 air tank system that's going to get mailed directly to your house, so make sure you subscribe. You got to be subscribed to win that thing. If you want to know when my videos come out, go down there and hit that bell notification. Make sure you give me a like so I know that you like this video, and if you didn't, put something down in the comments and let me know what you guys want to see. Thanks for watching. See you next time.